Thom, et bonjour.
Tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Football Friday in the Doghouse. And look, I mean, if it's spring, what better place to do a Football Friday show than from a college baseball press box? And that's exactly where we are at today, the college baseball press box here at Charger Park. And we got baseball coming up this afternoon where the Chargers will host a very good Valdosta State Blazer team. Valdosta State ranked number 19 in the country in Division II, and they are tied with Montevallo for the league lead in the Gulf South Conference standings at 14-7. Now, West Georgia, West Florida, and UAH are all just one game back at 13-8, so you can tell this is a very important series here in the standings as everybody is bunched up, and we're going to have that game with yours truly and Chad Gwathney on the call at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's at 3 o'clock this afternoon over on Zone 2, so we're broadcasting from the press box. And for those of you that are watching the show on one of our streams, there's a look at the field, okay? So there's my vantage point right now. As you see the guys getting out, they'll be hitting in a little while. They'll be getting their batting practice in or striping up the field and so on and so forth. So hopefully you're able to kind of see that a little bit as we continue to stream the show live here from Charger Park and in the press box at Charger Park as well. So, and the rumor is that Grizz is going to come down a little bit later on, and he's going to join me. So we'll see if that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen. So he should be joining me a little bit later on for the broadcast of that game, and I'm excited about it. I mean, I love baseball. I'm a seam head. An opportunity to do a little baseball here, and by the way, tomorrow we'll have double headers for you both in softball and baseball from here at Charger Park. Softball is playing. Steve Moulton will have that doubleheader. Game 1 will be on our air. Game 2 will be on Zone 2, and we'll flip-flop. Tomorrow, Game 1 of the doubleheader with the Blazers in baseball will be on Zone 2, and then the second game will be on air. So we're going to have one softball, one baseball on air, and on Zone 2 each. And then, of course, it'll be Game 2 of Alabama and Auburn, which will be on our air and our primary feed as well. Now, last night, speaking of Steve Moulton, the Havoc beat Knoxville 5-1 in Game 1 of the first round of the President's Cup playoffs. Tonight, they will be on Zone 4, looking to close that deal out. Now, Alabama and Auburn begin that 3-game series on our air and our primary feed tonight as well. So there'll be a best of the drive with Moulton and West. So there'll be a best of there. And then Alabama and Auburn baseball will get started with their pregame around 5:55, and then you can go over to 4 if you want to listen to Steve do the Havoc Game 2 up there in Knoxville. So you can see how busy things are.
Feeds it across.
All right, you can see that apparently was last night. It was just unsolicited playing highlights in there. There was 5-1. But trust me, it was 5-1 last night. So you can see how busy we are here, at the Valley's sports empire. I mean, it's not even, you can't even say we're the Valley Sports Radio station because we're more than that. We're the Valley Sports Radio Network is what we are. Between the Blitz and the Zone and Zone 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I mean, we are a network, all right? We are the Valley's Sports Radio Network, bringing you a lot of different stuff. Now, in the meantime, we will have the lines open up for you today. And we have a great opportunity for you and some of your friends to play in our Eagle Insulation 97.7 ESPN The Zone Charity Golf Classic. benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Now, our title sponsor, Eagle Insulation, and another one of our whole sponsors, Advanced Life Clinic, are sponsoring a team of listeners in the event. Now, these foursomes are $800 a piece. That's what they're. I mean, that's what we're selling them for. That's what we sold them for. And Eagle Insulation, they made one of their holes available for a group of listeners, and Advanced Life Clinic made their group available for a group of listeners. Okay? The foursome itself, just to play golf in this tournament, was $800 for a foursome, $200 a man for 4 people. Now, I am going to open up the lines today, and I'm going to give you a chance to win a foursome. So start calling your buddies, get your foursome together, whatever, all right? What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to answer a sports trivia question, one in the first hour, one in the second hour. If you get this question right, you got to get in, you got to get the question right, you can win a group in our event for Monday. It's a morning tournament. Registration opens at 7 a.m. at Cherokee Ridge. And 9 o'clock is when we spike up. Chick-fil-A will be feeding you breakfast in the morning. Bubby's Diner will be feeding you lunch in the afternoon. And we got all kinds of great stuff going on the course. All right? Now, here's the deal. You say, how do I win? How do I win? I am going to put the questions out there before we open the lines. In fact, I'm going to put the questions out there at the end of a segment. The question for the first hour, the question for the second hour. I'm going to put the question out before the end of the segment, and then we're going to come back at the to start the next segment with you on the line. You got to come on the line. You don't just call and give Grizz the answer and you think you win. No. You got to come on the air. I'll reset the question. You answer the question. But because I'm putting the question out there before we go to commercial break, cheating is encouraged. All right? You be ready to cheat. Do the research. I'm not going to say, hey, did you look it up on the internet? I don't care. Okay? We got a group from Eagle Insulation, and we got a group from Advanced Life Care that are going to be won. And that's just the way it's going to be. All right? So I'll do one in each hour. Now, coming up in a few minutes, Alan Bell from CBS Sportsline will join us with some NFL draft notes, maybe some picks in the NFL playoffs as well. And speaking of the playoffs, by the way, have you gotten into my Puckheads group yet for the NHL playoff bracket and Grizz's incredibly long-named NBA bracket? Have you gotten it? Both of those are on the ESPN platform. I tweeted the link out at Thom Abraham Show on the Twitter. Grizz has tweeted the link out for the NBA one as well. And so far, the last time I checked, we had about 14 people in the NHL one and 12 in the NBA one. Now, the NBA gets going tomorrow, so get in and get your bracket if you want a piece of that. We're going to give you great prizes. If you want a piece of that, you need to get in and you get your bracket together. The NHL bracket is now set, but you can't quite fill it out yet. The NHL bracket, with 2 games to go in the NHL tonight, everything is set for the NHL bracket. Okay, but it's not set up yet. The last I checked, it's not set up yet on the site at the ESPN game site, the fantasy site there. So but you have all weekend to get that one made out. The playoffs don't start till Monday there. Okay, the USFL launches season number 2 tomorrow as well. The defending champion Birmingham Stallions will host the New Jersey Generals tomorrow night on Fox. There's an afternoon game on Fox as well in the USFL. The Memphis game, I think it's Philadelphia and Memphis, something like that, in the afternoon on Fox. The Stallions are loaded for another run under Coach Skip Holtz. Now, Zach Kyleman from the USFL newsroom is coming up at the top of the one to set up the season for us and the latest rules adjustments. What of these rules would we like to see end up in college football or in the NFL? Okay, now tomorrow, both leagues have doubleheaders at the same time. The XFL will be on ABC and ESPN while the USFL is on Fox for both their games tomorrow. I mean, it's like college football. There's going to be like games all day, into the night. It's like a college football weekend in April. It's going to be fascinating to see how the ratings end up. I mean, that's the big battle here, right? The big battle here is the ratings in terms of how many people watch the XFL, how many people watch the USFL. You know it's going to be a shared audience in a big way. People are going to bounce back and forth between games. I would think that that's what it's going to be. I wish the two leagues were playing at the same time of year and then had a championship game against each other. I want to see the best team in the X against the Birmingham Stallions, the best team in the USFL. But they need to line their seasons up, and I think that would be create even more interest in those leagues. Now, also, Mel Kiper Jr. was on Feinbaum yesterday, and he had some fascinating things to say about the draft, including what the Panthers are going to do at number 1. And we're going to let you hear that today as well, in case you missed that on Feinbaum. I know some of you don't listen to Paul, but Paul had – I'm holding my paper up in front of my face. I think Chris would be like, hey, you're holding the paper up in front of your face. I'll be doing that. It'd be interesting. I think it was very fascinating to hear what Mel Kiper Jr., he is the original draft guru, what he had to say about the Bryce Young situation and, about the Will Anderson situation and what's going to happen in the draft, or Anthony Richardson and others. So we will get that in later on in the show as well. And this is the time of year when NFL uniform news is leaked out, and there's been some leaks out. The Tennessee Titans are going to wear Houston Oilers gear for at least one game. All right, what is it going to be, the old school 60s Oiler gear? Is it going to be the gear that they wore when they came in as the Tennessee Oilers, which was a really, really nice gear? I don't know exactly. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to wear the creamsicle Bucco Bruce gear. All right, they're going to wear that gear at least once, probably twice during the season. So we're getting this dribs and drabs coming in. The Detroit Lions have an alternate helmet that they're going to wear this year. I don't know what it could. I can't listen. I've been alive 62 years. The Detroit Lions have never worn anything other than a silver helmet. Even when they first put plastic helmets on in the 50s, the Detroit Lions helmet was just all silver, and then they put the lines on it and stuff like that, and they put the lion on the side and everything else. The Detroit Lions are going to have an alternate helmet this year. Was it black? I don't know what it is. Next year, for the 2024 season, the Detroit Lions get a whole new uniform, which hopefully will be the Barry Sanders era gear. Just go to the Barry Sanders era gear, and you're done. That's all you got to do, Detroit. That's all you need to do. All right? But the Arizona Cardinals have a new uniform this year. So the Arizona Cardinals going with all new uniforms this year. They've had a horrific uniform for 20 years. We'll see what they come up with this year, with the Arizona Cardinals. So those things are all happening. But with all of these throwbacks going on, it got me to thinking about who would be better off to go back to their old gear and just stop it. All right? For example, the Atlanta Falcons. Is there any doubt that the Atlanta Falcons' old uniforms are better than their current uniforms? That's a team that would be benefiting of that. All right. So if we get a chance, we'll go to that, and we'll just kind of run the list down and say who's good now, who needs to go the other way, and we'll get that in. All right, the phone lines are open, 256-576-4977, 256-576-4977. Text window, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The stations is at 97.7 ESPN. Watch on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN, as well as on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV. All right, go check all of that out, and you can find it all at our website, which is 977ESPN.com. All right, over there in the little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax and answering the phones and living large and in charge on a Friday, it's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a stick polish.
Brilliant!
I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Paddy's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Hey, hey, hey! Friday, Grizzlicious. I know you wish you were out here at Charger Park right now, but you will be out here in a couple of hours. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'll be out there soon enough, and I still have 9 hours plus the whole weekend to fill out my NHL bracket. So I'm getting ready for it, and I have it. I have the countdown right in front of me. 9 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds as we
plus
speak.
Plus the weekend.
Yes, plus the weekend. Plus the weekend.
9 hours. Yeah, plus the weekend once it comes out. So they still haven't put it out. We know what it is. I mean, based on the action last night, we now know what it is. In the West, Dallas will be playing Seattle, and the Colorado Avalanche, they're defending champions. They'll be playing Minnesota. The Vegas Golden Knights will be playing Winnipeg, and the Edmonton Oilers will be playing L.A. That's going to be the best series out west. It's the Oilers and the Kings will be really good. In the East, the Bruins draw the Florida Panthers. The Bruins with the best record since ever in NHL history. The Maple Leafs and the Lightning. It's going to be hard to tell which one is which. Maple Leafs and Lightning have almost identical uniforms, but the Maple Leafs and the Lightning will play in the first round. The Carolina Hurricanes, they will play the New York Islanders. Pulling for the Islanders there because I hate the Hurricanes. And the best series in the East will be the Devils and the Rangers. I mean, you want to talk about, a backyard brawl. That's going to be good, the Devils and the Rangers. So that's the bracket. I mean, it's out there. They just haven't put it yet up on the ESPN.
So are you waiting for tonight's matchups in the NBA, or have you already filled out that bracket? Do you kind of already know who you have?
I made mine out.
I know you made it out, yeah.
I can't change it. I made it out. You know what it is. Once you make the bracket out, you can't make a change.
So you're totally cool with everything you have in there. Even though it's technically not set, because we're not in the playoffs yet, so you could change your bracket if you wanted to a little bit.
But
we're not in the playoffs. So
I know we're not in the playoffs, but I made out my bracket. What am I supposed to do? I mean, look, Miami and Chicago, whoever wins is going to get smashed by the Bucks.
Yes.
So I have the Bucks winning that series, so it doesn't matter. And Minnesota and OKC, I don't think either one of those teams are going to be a problem for the Nuggets. So there's really it's kind of like, look, what do we do in the NCAA? We make out our bracket before we know who won the first four. We're like, the 16 seed. These two teams are playing to beat a 16 seed. Okay, fine. We can make a bracket out ahead of time. I told you, my NBA bracket, I have the Celtics over the Suns. You did not tell me what you have. Have you not made it out yet?
Oh, I've already got everything. I had the Bucks over the Nuggets, actually. I have the Nuggets and the Grizzlies in the West, and the
straight chalk. You went straight chalk. You had the 2 ones.
Remember
the Bucks over the Nuggets.
Remember you talked to Steve Merrill yesterday, and there's hardly any upsets. There's no. I mean, this is pretty much chalk, so it should be chalk. And
except for the Celtics.
Except for the Celtics. Except I do have a early upset by the Hawks over the Celtics in the first round. So yeah. So. Hey,
come on! Why did you do that to your? Why would you do that to your thing? You know that ain't gonna happen. I mean, come on! It's Celtics in 5, right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you can pull for the Hawks all you want, but I mean, this is a contest here. Because not only do you lose that, then you're going to lose because what do you got? The Hawks playing the 76ers?
Yes. And then I have the
76ers
winning. No, I have the 76ers winning.
So you have the 76ers beating them, but you don't have the Celtics beating them?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. You're nuts, man. Boston, Philadelphia could be good in that second round. I mean, that could be fascinating. You know what the hardest time I had was in the championship game picking the number of points that'll be scored in the championship game. That was tough for me.
Yeah.
I went with 400 because I'm sitting here. It's the number of points by the MVP, and it's not just in the final. It says the question is how many points will the finals MVP score in the 2023 playoffs?
Yeah.
So to win the playoffs, how many games you got to play? You got to win 16 games, right? To win the playoffs, you got to win 16 games. So I figured if the guy averages 20 a game, 22, I think I figured 23 or 24 a game. Guy averages 23, 24 points a game, that's 400 points. So that's what I went with, 400 points. What'd you put in? You didn't understand the question, right?
No. I think I put like 300 and something. I don't remember how much I put in. I have to go look. Okay. I don't have it in front of me.
All right, so it wasn't bad though.
No, it wasn't because most people would have thought maybe it was like points per game or something like that if they would have looked at it.
Yeah. All right, tell you what, let's get a break in here. When we come back, Alan Bell Jr. will join us for CBS Sports Line. We'll talk some NFL with him. Maybe mix a little NBA in there as well as the playoffs get ready to get started. We'll talk to him about some NFL news. And then at the end of the interview with Alan Bell, don't let me forget, Grizz, at the end of the interview with Alan Bell, I will put out the first question. all right, for a foursome, an $800 foursome. This will be the Eagle Insulation team number 2. Eagle Insulation paying for a team of you guys to be in this thing. I'll throw the question out there, and you guys can jump aboard with that and give us your answer. But I won't take answers until the beginning of the next segment, which will be on the air after the Alan Bell segment. I'm going to give you some time to cheat. We get a break. We'll come back with more from Charger Park right here. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions, Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on iopservicesllc.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
For 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting you. We use our own technologies to automate, to provide you the best support possible. And we have the strongest guarantees in the industry. I just can't tell you I'm going to provide you great support. I have to prove it to you with my actions.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life, more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy peaks of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us making a solid run at 70 degrees, but falling just shy. We're also going to keep scattered showers in the forecast through Friday afternoon and then as we head into Friday night. Dropping into the low 50s through the overnight, early Saturday morning, a partly to mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Scattered showers are going to be in the forecast. Otherwise, temperatures climb into the mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. Be sure and download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN and listen to my show every weekday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Look at Grizz showing homage to our normal Friday, Football Friday opening music. Good job by Grizz there. That's the original Monday Night Football music, yeah. Yeah, I was letting it go since we're broadcasting from Charger Park. Got UAH Charger baseball coming up at 3 o'clock, and I'm on the game. And look, I can't get from where I live in Winchester, Tennessee, to this press box. I can't get here in the hour that it would take from my show till the first pitch, and I'm doing a game today. So I just said, you know what? I just go down there right from Jump Street. I just do the show from the press box, and then I'll have a little hour break to get ready for the game, and we'll do the baseball game. So that's what we're doing, but it's still Football Friday in the Doghouse. And Alan Bell now joins us from CBS Sportsline, and where he does a tremendous job in all things CBS Sportsline, and he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. AB, welcome in. How are you?
Big dog, doing good, man. I missed you, buddy. You doing all right?
I am fantastic. Yeah, it's been a minute since we talked and had our normal Friday conversation, but, you know, here we are getting ready to go, and our long national nightmare is over as the Washington Don't Call Me the Redskins have been sold by Daniel Snyder, and, you know, a happy day, I think, for all, as it looks like this Josh Harris is going to buy the team for $6.05 billion, but don't cry for Daniel Snyder. He bought the team for $800 million, and he's selling the team for $6 billion. So I think Daniel Snyder will be okay going back to his Barcalounger to watch games on TV.
Yeah, Snyder's going to be all right. And let me say this for any old-school Redskins fans, Commander fans, however you want to break it down, a good day for them, too. And you know what I hate about it is that as awful as Snyder had become, because it just became just toxic waste up there with everything, you know, I feel bad that he bought it because he was a fan of the team, right? And it just didn't work. So I hate that for him that it didn't end up that way. But a lot of the problems were because of him. So, yeah, I think this is a win-win for everybody involved up there.
Jay Gruden, former Washington coach Jay Gruden, said that Daniel Snyder would, during the draft, he would run in from his yacht and he would make the pick. He would feel like all these guys, and Daniel Snyder would run in and say, "Let's pick this guy," and that would be the end of it. He would pick that guy.
Who does that, right? Like, I mean, it's insane, man.
No, it is. It is absolutely insane. What also is a little bit insane, talking about the NFL draft, these thoughts about the Titans potentially moving up. I've seen them moving as high as 2 or 3 to get the third best quarterback maybe in this draft, and taking Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, who I think are both reaches, to be honest with you, especially at 3. I mean, are you hearing any of this? I mean, do you really think that the Titans would move up that high to snag one of these quarterbacks? They're not going to get the first one of the best or second best quarterback.
No, so let me say this. Unless you're going to get Bryce Young, don't do this. This is an insane move, right? Like, and it goes against everything that we're seeing, right? So, Carthon comes in, big dog, right? And you're looking at it the same way I believe that I am. That this team has a lot to rebuild. Offensive line, wide receivers. Like, we're not talking about players. We're talking about positional groups that you have to take care of. So trading away assets, draft picks, but that is their biggest asset. So going to do that move kind of is, oil to the water of the plan that they want to do. So, no, I don't think that they do it. Now, they could go after a Trey Lance or something from the 49ers. Maybe. I still don't think so. Like, I think that, you know what, they just try to get better through the draft. But like I said, I mean, if you're going to go get Bryce Young, which would be incredibly expensive that they're not going to do, I could get behind that. Like, that dude has been the best player in college football for 2 years straight. I don't care what anybody tries to tell me. He has. Other than that, you're doing it for Anthony Richardson and Will Levis, and nothing against those guys, but they ain't Bryce Young. So, no, I don't think they do.
Opposite of Bryce Young in as much as that they're both physical specimens. They just both throw the ball into the ground too much. You know what I mean? They haven't shown the ability to actually, play quarterback like Bryce Young played quarterback. Now, the question of size is going to come up and how that is going to work. And Bryce Young won't be able to extend plays the way he extended them in college because these defensive ends, they run like, college safeties. I mean, he gets out there thinking that he can run around and do all that goofy stuff and wait 7 seconds for somebody to get open. That's not going to happen in the NFL, but it seems to be that all of the muckety-mucks now, the Mel Kipers of the world, the Adam Schefters, everybody is like kind of come off of this C.J. Stroud as the number 1 pick and have all jumped now on, it's going to be Bryce Young.
It better be, right? Like, hey, look, and let me say this because I'm not saying this as a negative against Alabama because why would you? How could you? But Bryce Young covered up so many deficiencies on that team. He is unbelievable. Like, I mean, legit. And I get the side part. And look, you're correct about not being able to move around. But you know what? He doesn't want to do that, and the team doesn't want to do that. And there's a great way to solve that. It's called getting an offensive line for him, right? Like, if they do that, they're going to be just fine. But I say this, I mean, the size is something else. But here's the thing. Bryce Young, height and weight, is exactly the same size as Russell Wilson. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but it can work.
Yeah, it's the same size as Russell Wilson. Now, I don't know what happened, though, because that kid played at 185 pounds. Russell Wilson has always been a much more sturdy-looking player than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is pretty thin, but Russell Wilson is a thicker, is a guy. And I thought it was interesting that at the pro day that Bryce Young wouldn't get on a scale. And he's like, no, I'm good. And I was like, really? I mean, you're not even going to get weighted,
Yeah, leaving people in question keeps you at the leverage. Yeah, smart move right there.
So while this ends up changing everything, so at 3, because the Texans now, or even early at 2, you wonder what DeMeco Ryans, former Alabama player, star there, and a defensive coordinator coming over from the 49ers, now the head coach of Houston, is he ready to take C.J. Stroud at 2, or do you say, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'll take Will Anderson, the best player in the draft, maybe, and we'll worry about quarterback later. We got a lot to do. We're not ready really even to have a quarterback that's going to, do great things for us. You wonder about that. And then you wonder about the Cardinals sitting there in that 3-hole, presumably with a quarterback, which I don't really believe much in Kyler Murray. But, you wonder now what the Cardinals will be thinking about if Will Anderson is still on the board.
Yeah, all right. So the Cardinals are the wild card, so to say, and, pun not intended with that one. And you know what? Like, the Cardinals have been the organization, to get Kyler, they got rid of a first-round draft pick quarterback, Josh Rosen. Right? So it's like, they've done this move before. But, yeah, like, I'm with you, man. Like, if I'm D'Amico, and I'm looking at it saying, all right, C.J. Stroud, okay. And we're not hating on C.J. Stroud, right? But, yeah, man, like, if you have a Will Anderson right there, a guy that is a bona fide, ready to go, right out of the box, like, he's a Christmas present. You don't need any batteries. You don't need any extensions. Like, you unlock the box, and he's good to go. With the quarterbacks, I mean, it could take time, right? And, the one thing, we all say that, rookie head coaches have time. They really don't, right? Like, you got to get going now. So, yeah, and especially the background where he comes from, not only him as a player, not only him as a defensive coordinator, but the organization, the 49ers kind of where he cut his teeth. Like, it all aligns. Go get defensive players. Go get bona fide ready to go. And you'll be far better off. So I'm with you. I think Anderson right there.
Hey, Alan Bell Jr. with us here talking some NFL. So, Bud Dupree, now 30 years old, he signs with the Atlanta Falcons for a 1-year, $5 million deal. I mean, it's hard. He was outstanding, I thought, with the Steelers, but it's hard to say that Bud Dupree was anything but a bust with the Titans, right? I mean, what are the Falcons getting in this Bud Dupree? Because you would think that that's a position of need for the Falcons. If he was any good and had any tread left on the tire, I thought that the Titans would have figured out a way to keep him.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing right there. Like, the first, warning flag is like, if you can't play defense, under Mike Vrabel, that's really a new problem. Because we've seen Mike Vrabel pulling dudes off the street, for Monday night games that could go out there and have 9-10 tackles, right? So, yeah, man, like, and you know what? It could be just, could have been a bad fit. Like, who knows? That being said, Arthur Smith is basically just the Falcons and the Titans. Right? Like, I mean, look how many forward Titans they have on the roster.
Oh,
it's not too terribly different what they're doing. So, yeah, it's a question mark for sure. It's, got to take it a shot. Got to go out of this. The last couple of years where you go out and take a shot at a guy. Like a Vic Beasley, hopefully it'll turn out better than that. But, yeah, we'll see. But it frightens me, like, when you don't really work in a Vrabel defense because it's pretty defender-friendly out there. You just get effort and everything else tends to work,
Yeah, no, the Falcons are in great shape to win the 2017 AFC South. I think that's about where they're at right now. They keep getting all these Titans players. Now, they did pick up Jeff Okudah. This is a fascinating trade as well because, I mean, Jeff Okudah was the 3rd overall pick in the draft 3 years ago. He was the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and the Falcons get him for a 5th rounder. I didn't think he sucked out loud. I mean, I thought he was okay, but they went ahead and made the move. And you almost listening to Dan Campbell, he almost made the comment. If you read the tea leaves, it feels like maybe he was kind of a problem child or whatever. They just as soon get him out of there, and they got him out of there for a 5th rounder, a guy that 3 years ago was the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, you know what? Talking about fit, also talking about just like time in someone's life, right? Like, we forget how young some of these players are, right? And look, that was a life-changing thing. And, I don't know what happened, but it does sound like there were just some clashes, so to say. And sometimes going through that process and, for the first time in your life being told, like, you know what? We're good, man. No thanks. We'll see you later. Like, sometimes it helps. You just get kind of a swift kick, and get yourself back in line. And again, I'm not saying don't know. I'm just going off of, what you said, like the tea leaves from what we heard, from and win there. But I think that, you know what, this could be a really good thing. Like, this is the value type of play if you're the Falcons that you go get. You know what I mean? Because, like, it could very much pay off, whereas sometimes throwing a bunch of money, you know, at a guy who used to be good 3 years ago, like, those tend to not. These tend to do. So, yeah, I thought it was a calculated, play, smart play.
So how about tomorrow for football fans, where the XFL and the USFL will go head-to-head? There'll be 4 games, 2 doubleheaders, ESPN, ABC, Fox, major networks here carrying these games. It's not like they're on the CW or something. I mean, it's going to be easy to find these games. And, this is going to be really interesting. The XFL is averaging about 635,000 viewers so far in the 8 weeks of this season. Last year, the USFL averaged about 715,000 viewers. It's going to be interesting to see if it's a shared audience, a split audience, and then you've got a bunch of spring games going on in college football as well. I mean, my God, it's the second week of April. We got football all over the place.
We do, right? And you know what? I think what also is going to help is, the NBA playoffs being on as well, right? And what I mean by that is, we're kind of in these sports deserts, so to say. Pulling an audience, the most difficult part is getting them to be home and turn on the TV, right? Because in their heads, we're like, there's nothing I'm going to bet on. There's nothing I'm going to watch. So they just go out, and you do your thing, right? You live your life, whatever. You go down to the Lowe's or whatever, right? But if you have people that are actively watching sports because, like, hey, I'm going to watch the Warriors game or whoever, right? Like, I'm betting on it. They don't even care about being a fan of it, right? Like, you've got them now at home. They've got their television on. Like, the hard part is done. Now, you just got to hope, hey, commercial break comes. What's on ESPN? Oh, we got football. Like, that's what you want, right? So I think it's a good time. It's a good spot for them to do it. If I were them, I would lean heavily into sports betting because you could get a cheap pop and steal a lot of the eyeballs right out of the gate that you never would before. I would lean heavily into that.
And I can watch baseball every night of the week, during the week. So I'll watch my baseball. I'll get my baseball fix then. If I'm available, if I'm around, if I'm not fishing or golfing or doing a baseball game like I will be tomorrow, I'm more apt to watch a little bit of football because I'm just a football junkie. I mean, that's just that's just the way that whole thing shakes out. There's no doubt. All right, before I let you go, you mentioned the NBA playoffs. I'm not going to ask you to pick all the rounds and all that stuff, but before this thing starts, because, we're not in the playoffs yet. We're in NBA purgatory. We're this play-in thing. It's not playoff. They said it's not the postseason, and they said it's not the regular season. So I call it NBA purgatory. So regardless of what happens tonight, it's not going to change who's going to win in the first round of those number ones, because that just doesn't change in the NBA. This isn't like the NCAA tournament, not over a 7-game series. So give us who's going to win the NBA championship and who's in the final, who the 2 teams in the final, and who wins. Who do you got?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to talk. I think the Bucks out of the East, they're just too tough, and they're rested. Good luck with that one. And then the Suns out of the West. It kind of comes down to the Suns and the Nuggets, and I think the Suns obviously just have a better roster, and they're getting better by the game, especially Kevin Durant. So as chalk as it sounds, Suns, Bucks, and the Bucks take it home. I love Giannis. I love this team. This blue-collar work only. You better be able to play defense and go. Give me the Bucks to win it all.
I like the Bucks because they're owned by the Cleveland Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam. So that to me, that's an extra thing there. Having said that, I've got the Celtics. I have the Celtics over the Suns in the final. I think that Celtics-Bucks is going to be epic, but the Celtics have been playing so good. I'm going to take the Celtics, which is really hard because I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm going to throw up a little bit in my mouth when I say Boston Celtics. But I'll take the Celtics in that one. What do you think about the Lakers and the Grizzlies? Because everybody just assumes that the Lakers, they're Lakers. Well, yeah, they're Lakers, but they had to play in purgatory to even get in this tournament, and nobody respects what the Grizzlies are. And I know they've had some injuries and things like that, but, I mean, what do you think about the Grizzlies and the Lakers?
I think the Grizzlies are a lot better of a team than the public and the Lakers probably give them credit for. You're right. They've had injuries. They had the Ja Morant situation. But as of late, they've kind of turned this thing around, man. And the problem dealing with them is that they're kind of like Miami in the basketball tournament, that They're longer. They can shoot better than you think. They could get rebounds more than you think. And you look up, you're like, oh, man, we're down 9. Like, how did this happen? Like, yeah, I'm going with the Grizzlies. I think they take the Lakers out.
Yeah, I have the Grizzlies in that one as well. I think Grizzlies in 6. Alan Bell Jr. has been our guest. AB, I appreciate you, man. Great stuff as always.
Big dog. Appreciate you, buddy. We'll talk soon, man. Look forward to it.
All right, thank you. All right, it's time. I'm going to throw a trivia question at you, and the first person that can get in and answer this question correctly will win a foursome in our golf tournament, courtesy of Eagle Insulation. Eagle Insulation has 2 foursomes, so they'll have their foursome in there. And they said, you know what? We want to sponsor a group of your listeners in a second foursome. This is an $800 value. The tournament is Monday, Cherokee Ridge. Registration begins at 7 a.m. Tee-off is at 9. We got food for you from Chick-fil-A and from Bubby's Diner. We have wonderful trophies. We spent way too much money on these trophies. And the winning team, by the way, in this tournament, all 4 members of the winning team win a 6-month full family membership to Cherokee Ridge. That's worth over $3,000. Okay, so we've got a really, really cool thing here set up for you. Here's the question. Everybody know we always talk about Tiger Woods' pursuit of Jack Nicklaus in terms of the most amount of majors won. Right? Nicklaus won 18 majors. Tiger has won 15, and he's done. He is done. From what we saw at the Masters, Tiger's done. He's not winning any more majors. So we know that it's Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. The question is, who's number 3 on the list of majors won? Number 3 on the list of majors won with 11 majors won. 256-576-4977. You first one in with the right answer is playing on Monday with 3 of their buddies in a foursome at our golf tournament on Monday at Cherokee Ridge. We'll come back and get the winner next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. If you've been considering owning a new Mustang, Explorer, Expedition, Edge, Escape, or Bronco Sport, we have 0% financing for 60 months on 22 models of those vehicles. This won't last long because as we sell off our 2022s, 0 for 60 goes with it. When they're gone, they're gone. Let me repeat, Woody Anderson Ford has 22 models of Bronco Sport, Explorer, Escape, Edge, Expedition, and Mustang with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months. But when they're gone, it's gone. And of course, it's with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 29th. Woody Anderson Ford can also help you trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Don't forget 0 for 60 on select 22 models while they last. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit huntsvillesports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. Obviously, a lot of interest in our golf tournament that is coming up on Monday, and we threw the first question. There's going to be another question coming up in hour number 2 of the show. This one is a golf question. The one in the second hour will be a football question, specifically an Alabama football question. But the golf question that I asked for this particular segment is, I want to know who is number 3 on the all-time majors list. We all know about Jack and Tiger and Tiger and Jack, but who's number 3 on the all-time majors list with 11 majors? In order of the calls that came in, we start and maybe end with Badger Larry. Badger Larry, welcome to the show. How are you?
Have you got me?
Now we got you. Hey, Badger Larry, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tommy.
All right, give me the answer.
I've got Walter Hagen.
There you go. I thought Chris was going to give you just a little.
I played with him last week.
You played with Walter Hagen last week. All right, so that is absolutely correct. So, Larry, you have a team now. My question is, will Wolverine Dan be on this team?
He would be, but he is in friggin' Michigan.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, he's got a... Is he in Michigan now?
Yeah, he went today, I think, and he's not going to be back until, like, Wednesday.
Oh, I got to text him and tell him that... I got to text him and tell him that you won a team in the tournament. That's hilarious.
Oh, he was texting me, telling me that I need to get in. I'm going, yeah, well, you need to...
Oh, he's listening? Oh, I didn't know he's listening.
I
okay,
don't know
so
if he's listening or not, but he sent me a text earlier today telling me to get in.
That is fantastic. All right, so but you're not going to have any problem filling a foursome, though.
I hope not. It is a little light notice, but, you know.
Well, that's the point of this whole thing, you know, but you have 4 slots in that thing, so make sure that you, and as soon as possible, get me names, okay? Use the text window. You know the text window's number. If you got names, if you can get some names, whenever you get them, just get me the names if you happen to get them before, Monday morning. Otherwise, you show up with your players,
What time's the show up?
The registration begins at 7, but we don't tee off until 9. So between 7 and 9, registration. Okay. We have breakfast with Chick-fil-A. We have lunch with Bubby's afterwards. It's all good.
Okay.
All right, Larry? All right, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, you're in. So, hit me with a text window when you know who the rest of your team is.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, there you go. Badger Larry. That's fantastic. And Wolverine Dan is out of the box. Wait till he finds out that Badger Larry won a team in the golf tournament. And Wolverine Dan can't play. He's spitting blood right now. I know he loves going back home to Michigan. but he's going to be spitting blood right now on that one. All right, Grizz, am I okay here to go to the top, or do I need to take another break? Because I'll take a break, brother. You know I'll break. You tell me. All right, let's take our quick break, and we'll come back with a wrap-up hour number 1 next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at BigfootsLittleDonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. If you've been considering owning a new Mustang, Explorer, Expedition, Edge, Escape, or Bronco Sport, we have 0% financing for 60 months on 22 models of those vehicles. This won't last long because as we sell off our 2022s, 0 for 60 goes with it. When they're gone, they're gone. Let me repeat, Woody Anderson Ford has 22 models of Bronco Sport, Explorer, Escape, Edge, Expedition, and Mustang with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months. But when they're gone, it's gone. And of course, it's with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 29th. Woody Anderson Ford can also help you trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Don't forget 0 for 60 on select 22 models while they last. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. You're listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your home of ESPN Radio, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Atlanta Braves baseball, Huntsville Havoc hockey, and the UAH Chargers.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. The segment of the show brought to you by our friends at Valley Equipment, where they have grown by leaps and bounds, and today is Friday, and you know what that means. That means this is the opportunity you have to go ahead and get yourself whatever equipment that you need from Valley Equipment to get the job done like a pro at your house. And if you pick it up after the show today or tomorrow morning, it's not due back in until 8 a.m. on Monday. It's the best deal out there, so go ahead and take advantage of that deal with Valley Equipment. They've got everything you need, from the small hand tools to the biggest excavators, so more excavators and skid steers and lifts and all of that stuff than anybody else in the market. And this is power washing season, right? You need to get that power washer and get that sidewalk or that driveway cleaned up, or the side of that house or that tin roof. You can get it done with Valley Equipment, so check them out as well. We are here at Charger Park, as you can see as I'll swing my camera around. Those of you that are watching on the WZZN TV. Grizz is looking, interestingly enough, at that. What you can see there is batting practice, which is taking place out there. Here, let me turn the camera straight. So a little BP going on out there for the UAH Chargers as they'll be taking on Valdosta State. That game coming up at 3 o'clock on Zone 2. I will be on the call for that one. Grizz will be sitting side by each as well. Big game in the Gulf South Conference coming up a little bit later on. All right, we'll get a break, and when we return, Zach Kyleman is going to join us. He'll be up next. We're talking some USFL as they get ready to launch season number 2. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
T-minus 3, 2, 1. Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun. Let's rock it.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back next Tuesday, April 18th for a 6-game homestand against the Biloxi Shuckers. Promotions include 2 bobblehead giveaways to open and close the week, the first day game of the season on Wednesday, and dance night on Thursday. Reserve your seats now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. It is the end of an era in Chicago. The Blackhawks say they will not re-sign Jonathan Toews and will use tonight's regular season finale versus the Flyers as a send-off for their longtime captain. 8:30 Eastern on ESPN+. Toews, who won 3 Stanley Cups with Chicago, has been dealing with health issues over the last few seasons. He recently hinted his NHL career could be winding down, but stopped short of saying he'd retire. The Ravens today will introduce receiver Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ signed a 1-year deal with Baltimore the other day. He missed all of last season recovering from a torn ACL. Meanwhile, the future of quarterback Lamar Jackson remains uncertain. He's requested a trade. The teams put the franchise tag on him. And last week, GM Eric DeCosta acknowledged the possibility of Baltimore selecting a quarterback in the first round of the upcoming NFL Draft.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy peaks of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us making a solid run at 70 degrees, but falling just shy. We're also going to keep scattered showers in the forecast through Friday afternoon, and then as we head into Friday night. Dropping into the low 50s through the overnight. Early Saturday morning, a partly to mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Scattered showers are going to be in the forecast. Otherwise, temperatures climb into the mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
April means A-Day.
You know, folks, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Alabama is still Alabama.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to move more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. At Woody Anderson Ford, their service department is second to none. When you go down there and you check it out, you're going to say, wow, look at this. They take such great pride in the service department. They take such great pride in the service lanes. This is the place where I want to get my vehicle fixed. And it doesn't have to be a Ford to be fixed at Woody Anderson Ford. That's just the kind of work that they do down there. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well. You can get those, see that inventory at WoodyAndersonFord.com. They move quickly, though. You're going to want to jump on that. We broadcast here from Charger Park with UAH baseball coming up at 3 o'clock. I will be on the game. It'll be over on Zone 2. I'll tell you right now that a light drizzle has begun, and whatever breeze there is blowing out. They got the lights on here at the stadium. It's scheduled to be very nice this afternoon. So game time isn't until 3 o'clock, but it's supposed to be very nice this afternoon as batting practice continues out there. And they got different musical sets for each group that takes batting practice. So this one, listen, whoever put Alabama in this group here is genius, okay? Because it's a little Dixieland delight. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. All right, joining us now to talk a little USFL as the Birmingham Stallions get set to defend their USFL championship. And it's been a minute since one of these leagues has gotten to year number 2. But the USFL is getting ready to open year number 2 tomorrow. Zach Kallman joins us from the USFL newsroom. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. Zach, welcome back to the show. How are you, my friend?
Thom, it's been great to hear from you again. I am glad to be on the show, glad to be talking about a season 2, and you're right. It is a momentous occasion for spring football fans out there. We're going to have another season, and the hype in Birmingham, I'm currently in the city, is definitely palpable. It has been growing the last few days. They've been doing a great job.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting to see tomorrow, too, how the TV numbers come, because the XFL and the USFL will go head-to-head in the afternoon and in the evening. My goodness, it's like a college football Saturday in October. You got all these games going on, Fox, ESPN, ABC. I mean, it's crazy. Dueling spring leagues, and it'll be this way now for the next 4 weeks or so, probably all the way through to the championship game for the XFL while the USFL is getting started.
Yeah, what a time to be a football fan, right? I mean, seriously, it does feel like we're, it's surreal almost. It feels like we are in kind of like a true secondary like football section of the calendar year for sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one of the bigger storylines. If you're talking, I think, longevity of the style of football that this is, outdoor spring football. This is the first test. We got 2 leagues coming up. One's getting their season ramped up. The other is gearing up for the playoffs. And that's going to be talked about, I think, in sports circles for sure. But right now for the USFL, they're, I think, excited just because they got their side. Their TV looks great. No kudos to ABC and ESPN, of course, but I mean, Fox and NBC is definitely a heck of a partnership.
I'm trying to figure out, they've been promoting it as real football. Real football's coming. I that part I'm not sure. I don't understand. What are they referring to? Because it seems like, a lot of the rules are very similar. How is the USFL any realer than the XFL when it comes to spring football?
Look, Tom, I mean, the best I could give you, and there's nothing official of the league saying on that, but it's indirectly probably a jab at the XFL, if anything, just because
Definitely
you have a second league to compete with this year, and again, you're bringing back a lot of your football from last season, so that's what they're talking about. I think is that they're like, look, I think the marketing is we're the no gimmicks, no stop. We're about football coverage first. We're about showing the product and making a better product. I think that's the angle. They're never going to acknowledge that they're competing against each other. Neither one of these leagues are, but indirectly, you can maybe read between the lines if you want.
Oh, they are absolutely competing against each other. And one of the things that this year will really give fans an opportunity to weigh is the two different schedules, the two different times of the year. On the one hand, I at first, when the XFL started out, I'm like, give me a break. Can I just take a little break? Give me a couple of months, and then I'll come back with the USFL, and I'll be fired up. On the other hand, the USFL starts mid-April. It runs into late June, 4th of July for the championship, and it's summertime, man. Here in the South, we got a lot of stuff to do. We're going fishing, we're going golfing, we're doing stuff, and in all the other parts of the country, the spring will blossom. Plus, it seems like it wouldn't be a terrible idea to get a lot of this in before the draft. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the fans will speak in terms of which season they like, the immediately after the Super Bowl season or the, take a break and come back in mid-April to 4th of July season.
Well, I know you're asking that question because I know you are quite the avid fisherman yourself. I heard that initiative there. But, yeah, I mean, it's the storyline, That's part of this whole deal. I think it's an experiment right now. See what happens. The interest of it, the two different structures for the leagues. I mean, you've got player angles to this, you got fan angles to this, because, I mean, you're right. Summertime for sure, it gets warmer out here. For fans alone, I've been down here later on in the year. Week 4 last year, I got a little bit of experience with kind of that, heat. It wasn't, it isn't bad to say like June, but, still you can feel it. But that is a question for the leagues that they'll have to figure out, which schedule works better, which one works better for players and personnel to get their own positions they want to move up or down. And, again, that competition, I think it's great, though, for this. Because, again, competition to me breeds excellence, whichever one does either come out on top or if they both, happen to do their own thing, or if they both have to talk at each other to see what the future of this type of this angle of the sport is. But to me, no matter what, I'm all for this just because, to me, it has a better chance that you see spring football become more of a thing than it has in the past.
Yeah, and the USFL is unionized now, and their salaries are pretty nice. I mean, I will say that. I mean, from what I saw with the USFL salaries, they're pretty good. They're better than the XFL, and for me, in a perfect world, we would play these seasons together at the same time of year, and they would play a championship game against each other. I mean, that to me would create the ultimate in excitement, is if you could get the muckety-mucks together and say, you know what, let's do it together, same time of year, and let's have a championship. Let's have our own version of a Super Bowl, the old AFL, NFL type. That would be the best way to create, I think, a lot of interest.
CBS Sports had a chance to talk with Jamar Smith from the Stallions. Actually, he's thinking like you. He thinks that that's going to be coming here in the near future, possibly. And I think some people are wondering, like myself, what is the future of that? Because I think it really comes down, I think, this first season, like you're talking, that 4-week overlap, like you're mentioning, that truly is, I think, the first test to see where we're going to be with these markets. Obviously, the business models are different between the two. But I think a lot of people, if it has to come down to it, and if we want to see just this sport stay, I think some people, as much as I've seen bickering online with some folks with whatever league they like, they just want football. So at the end of the day, if one of them stays for the most part, they'll be great. But I mean, I'll tell you, like Stallions fans down here would love to have their Stallions. So Like I said, that fan base continues to seem to be growing, and it's bigger than last year when I was down here for the opening week as well.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I believe that to be true. They're defending champions in the league, and they have most of their better players back, right? I mean, a lot of people were wondering about, well, wait a minute, who's playing in what league? And we did see some names in the XFL that were guys that played in the USFL as well, and we're sitting there trying to figure out, wait a minute, I thought they were all signed to a 2-year contract and all that kind of stuff. But, starting with Jamar Smith and Alex Magoo, the two quarterbacks for Birmingham, they are in place. And we saw in the EX, what's going on with DC having two quarterbacks that can both play and stay healthy, how that, has resulted in them being probably the best team in that league. I would think for the Stallions, it's the same thing right now, being able to have both of these guys in there and having that continuity, and then the flip side, having Scooby Wright, on defense at linebacker once again, who led that defense last year.
Yeah, that continuity is huge, and that's one thing I think is being talked about in terms of, not just the USFL Season 2, but I think competition is, what do we get to see with these guys in the same program again, especially in the offensive side. Jamar Smith and Alex Magoo, they at times were kind of flipping back and forth, but they both were effective quarterbacks. And at one point later in the year, towards the end of the season, Skip Holtz started using Alex Magoo in more run packages, started doing RPO, direct runs with him, right. More mobile. And that's more of an open possibility. Or that they flip them around. There's not really any concrete confirmation on who's starting, for example, tomorrow. But I could definitely see Skip Holtz just like last year, where he knows he has two talented quarterbacks that both have bought into a system very much so, and both understand that they're just here for winning and that they will still show off their skill set.
The Stallions signed Thaddeus Moss, the son of Randy Moss, the tight end from LSU. That's a big pickup for them, and I would think that this is a great opportunity for Thaddeus Moss to show his stuff and show that he deserves to be in an NFL camp.
Yeah, he is an excellent pickup, I think, for the Stallions. Just adds to what has been a growing receiving room for them this year. They brought back Marlon Williams. They got Deion Kane as well, who came over here. Darian Davis, from UAB. And it's been pretty solid setup that they have, even after losing Victor Bolden and Osiris Mitchell this offseason. Osiris Mitchell is going to be with the Showboats this season. Bolden is currently in the XFL, but they still have a pretty well-set offense that's come back, of course, Bo Scarborough and C.J. Marable. No joke as well, while you're talking about Thaddeus Moss, our live stream we're doing, which I'll promote a little bit here, Spring Stock, we're actually going to have him live outside of Protective Stadium. He will be a part of that event.
That is really, really cool. You guys will be doing that. What time and how do people find that?
So we are going to be going live 12 p.m. Central to 3 p.m. Central at Casey's Sports Bar, South End Zone of Protective Stadium in Uptown, just across the street. It's just recently got its name changed. If you find it says Todd English Pub, and that's where it's at. But yeah, we're going to have not just Thaddeus Moss, sir. We're going to have Jamar Smith, Bo Scarborough from the Stallions as well. And if you're curious about any of the Breakers players, we're going to have McLeod Bethel Thompson, Johnny Dixon, and Vontaze Diggs also all part of this event.
I was going to ask you about that, about whether or not Bo Scarborough was on the roster this year for the Stallions. So Bo Scarborough is back for the Stallions. So it sounds like they've got most of their team back.
Yeah, right now, a lot of circles for us covering the league. We have the Stallions as one of the favorites to possibly repeat again because they brought so many key players back. They really didn't lose too many guys. And like I said, Victor Bolden, he went to the NFL, kind of had a spell with the Arizona Cardinals and the Broncos for a little bit. They had Osiris Mitchell, who went to the Green Bay Packers for a little while, but he's back with the Showboats. And then the main other one on defense that they lost was DeMarcus Gates, who went to the Chicago Bears. But beyond that, most of their veterans came back, and they actually, to many of us and folks that are covering this league, many of the additions they've added only strengthened, I think, their off-season haul. So they possibly right now are one of the top preseason favorites still, and actually Fox Bet has them as one of the preseason favorites, if not the top one, if I remember, sitting at plus 300 to win once again.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that Cavante Turpin, leveraged his year in the USFL, the outstanding season he had in the USFL, to go to the Dallas Cowboys and made the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's a thing, right? I mean, you get a guy like that, you say, all right, you played great in the USFL, and now he's a Pro Bowler for the Dallas Cowboys, making a hell of a lot more than $60,000 or $70,000 a year.
Tom, that's so marketable for the league. They have to be thrilled to see that. And one thing that's even better for them this year is that they now have the rights to certain things they can add from the historical USFL side. So we've seen posts where we're talking about MVPs from all 4 seasons. Cavante Turpin's been compared to like a Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly. You know, we're going to see that even more so and more often. And Cavante Turpin, like I said, you're talking about, I think, reasons why these leagues kind of keep getting a second chance and why I think Daryl Johnston likes these leagues so much. You know, the president now of the USFL is that he likes these second chances for these players. Turpin has a 3-year deal with the Cowboys and is a Pro Bowler, like you said. And there's talks that they're trying to see if they can get him into more packages. Every time I look online with NFL guys that report on these items. So, you know, that's a prime example of someone, as long as you take your chances, you play this as a pro as possible, and you excel, you have an avenue to get back. And those NFL teams are looking at these leagues a lot more seriously as the years go on.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be good stuff tomorrow. The USFL getting started, and they're going to get it done in Birmingham. This year, 4 hub cities instead of just Birmingham as the hub city. We saw the stadium was generally, pretty much empty when anybody other than the Birmingham Stallions were playing. They'll be playing in Memphis this year as well, in Canton, Ohio. And where's the other hub? Up by Detroit? Is that where the other one is?
Yep, playing in Ford Field for the Michigan Panthers and Philadelphia Stars.
Yeah, and I would assume next year the plan is to have everybody in their own city.
Yeah, that is right now, I think, the preliminary plan. Something that we keep hearing from the league is that it's all about their schedule. They still will play it by ear. One thing that they keep preaching to us when we talk to them is it's about financial responsibility. So their target is definitely to get all teams in hubs as soon as possible. But, of course, you still have to leave that kind of, that fine line of maybe this might not happen, but they definitely are very much conscious and want to get there as soon as possible, as financially responsible as possible as well, so that they can keep doing it too.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big part of it, no doubt about it. All right, Zach, I appreciate you, man. Great stuff.
Hey, great to hear from you, Tom. Good to tell Chad I said hi as well, okay?
I will. You just told him that. All right, thank you.
Hi, Zach.
Zach Kyleman. Talking some USFL with us as the USFL gets started tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Grizz, will you put the Birmingham Stallions and New Jersey Generals in your rotation? I mean, I know you're watching some basketball, you're watching the Braves, they're playing in the afternoon, I think, tomorrow. Would you have this Stallions game in the rotation?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. No, I got to support the hometown team. You know what I mean, or at least the home state team. So
yeah,
no, I'll be watching some for sure. I've been watching a good bit of the XFL, just not as much as I'd like, but because it is football and all. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to be able to watch some football anytime that football is on. But I'll be definitely watching it.
Yeah, and there are a decent number of familiar names out there as well. Philadelphia and Memphis will play early tomorrow, the 2:30 Central Time. No, 3:30 Central. 3:30 Central Time for Philadelphia and Memphis in Memphis, and that one will be followed, and that's on Fox, and that will be followed up by the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions. Most people feel they're the 2 best teams in the league, also on Fox at about 6:30. And then Sunday on NBC, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll still be in church, Michigan Panther and the Houston Gamblers play, and then 5:30 on FS1, it'll be the Pittsburgh Maulers and the New Orleans Breakers. Football's football, baby, and it'll be happening there tomorrow. All right, I'll tell you what, Chris, let's do this. I'll tell you what, we'll come back. Let's come back and we will set up the Mel Kiper comments on the Paul Feinbaum show. And then at the end of that, before we go to break, we'll give out our second question so we can give away another foursome in the golf tournament Monday. Another foursome. This one is sponsored by Advanced Life Clinic, and we will give away their foursome coming up after the next segment. So stay loose for that, guys, and we'll get that in there. We'll be back with more right after this from Charger Park on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Since 1998, Scooter's Coffee has delivered high-quality drinks with quick service and a big smile. And the folks at Scooter's Coffee know a great cup of coffee or other drink can bring a smile to just about anyone. Yes, we specialize in great coffee, but Scooters also has smoothies, teas, and delicious food items too. Scooters Coffee, 700 Governors Drive, just east of the Parkway. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Find out more at scooterscoffee.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit huntsvillesports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslandinggolf.com. That's gunnerslandinggolf.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu weight boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping experience for Alabama and Auburn fans. Located right here in Huntsville, come shop the best selection of officially licensed apparel, hats, Yeti, accessories, and gifts. Whether you're heading to the spring game or shopping graduation gifts or just love to show your school pride daily, come see us at Alumni Hall. University students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in store, and you can earn cash back with our Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Bridge Street Shopping Center, or shop anytime at alumnihall.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy peaks of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us making a solid run at 70 degrees, but falling just shy. We're also going to keep scattered showers in the forecast through Friday afternoon, and then as we head into Friday night. Dropping into the low 50s through the overnight, early Saturday morning, a partly to mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Scattered showers are going to be in the forecast. Otherwise, temperatures climb into the mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Football Friday with football music. This segment of the show brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. It's so weird. I got football music in my ear. It's Football Friday. I'm watching Valdosta State. The Blazers now taking their BP. Very good baseball team here in the Gulf South Conference. I'm here at Charger Park for the game between Valdosta State and UAH coming up at 3 o'clock over on Zone 2. If you want to listen to that, you can switch over and listen to that. Now, as I said, this segment of the show brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. North Alabama Mortgage can help you with your home purchase. And if you're wondering what your existing home is worth, well, they help you with that as well. You can get a valuation. You may say, well, the rates are a little bit higher than they were. Yeah, they're higher than they were a year ago. But on the other hand, they're stabilized, and the value in your home is also more than it has been in the past. You'd be surprised. So have North Alabama Mortgage do a home valuation for you, and then get pre-approved before you start looking at properties, because they want you to be pre-approved for most places. Now, you can't even schedule an appointment for some places to look at them unless you are pre-approved, and North Alabama Mortgage can help you with that. All right, yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum Show, Mel Kiper went on. He is the original draft guru, and he kind of assessed a lot of the guys out of the SEC and what we think might happen. This was yesterday, Mel Kiper with Paul Feinbaum.
So the question you've been asked everywhere you go, every day of the week, is what's going to happen when the draft begins? Who is Carolina going to take?
All indications, Paul, right now, in mock 4.0, I had Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama, being the number one pick overall. It kind of went back and forth because it looked like after the pro day of C.J. Stroud, he would be the number one pick. And then all of a sudden, we're back to full circle, back to Bryce Young. So it looks like Houston now is making it very interesting. Adam Schefter is thinking that they may throw a little bit of a curveball here. Maybe not take C.J. Stroud, maybe draft a defensive player or trade out of there. So I think now all of a sudden the second pick is now the first pick, Paul, and it becomes very interesting.
We have Mel's 4.0 on the board. Mel, let me ask you a question about Carolina. When they made this move a couple of weeks ago, do you think they knew what they wanted, or they just knew they wanted one of two people or one of three people?
I think they probably had a pretty good idea, Paul. They kept everybody kind of guessing because of the size factor for Frank Reich being always the issue, or his prototypical quarterback was always in that 6'3", 6'4" range. But in this particular case, now here we are, as you say, 2 weeks before the draft. I thought last week was when I got the intel, and I checked with Adam and Morton. They said, hey, Bryce Young, we're here. And the consensus among my people, my friends in the league, was Bryce Young. So I said, wasn't everybody, but the consensus was Young. And then when Morton and Adam said Young, I went with Bryce Young, and looks like all indications right now. I don't know if I'd rate it in 10 yet, but I'm close to feeling that way right now, Paul.
Mel, you've been doing this longer than anyone, so I'm curious about the methodology that everyone uses. And you're only as good as the information, and there are only three people, maybe a few more involved in the actual decision-making process. How do we know what's going on? I mean, I guess I'm asking you a pedestrian question for a reporter, but where does this intel come from?
What happens, Paul, is you talk to your friends in the league and you ask them about other teams, because they're not going to tell you what they're doing. So you try to say, okay, if you were picking number one, who would you take? Knowing what you know. Oh, I would take C.J. Stroud, or I would take Bryce Young, or I would take Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. You get a wide array of opinions. What you try to do then is say, okay, what do I think based on what I know? I hear what they're saying. Let me just check with Adam and Mort to hear what they're saying, and you just put it all together, Paul. And that's the way you do these mocks. They're very fluid for that reason, because the team's not telling anybody. So people think they know, but they really don't know. We love surprises. The draft, it's like Christmas morning. You don't want to know what's under the tree until Christmas morning. You don't want to know a week or two before. That's what makes it special for the kids. So I think when you look at where we are right now, we would hope we wouldn't know for sure. I'm hoping we don't know for sure, but it seems like Bryce Young is going to go number one. And then, like I say, when you hear two not being C.J. Stroud, to me, what I say then is, Paul, why not? Why is Houston, who needs a young quarterback like Stroud or Richardson or Levis, not going to take one? Are they thinking they're going to be awful next year and get Caleb Williams from USC or Drake May from North Carolina or Michael Penix Jr. from Washington? I don't know. I don't think any team thinks they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league before the season begins. So I don't understand, and with that being said, why at two they would not take a quarterback.
So let me get to what's after that. Assuming whatever happens to C.J. Stroud, he'll go quickly. Explain the interest and fascination with Anthony Richardson.
All talent and upside. We talked about him as a guy that has the ability, just from a running standpoint, Paul, he'll be one of the top running quarterbacks in the league immediately. Now, the passing, the arm strength is obviously there. The accuracy, the mechanics of making accurate throws needs to be worked on and fine-tuned. I said months and months ago, I would go to Josh Allen, find out his 2-3 people that are worked with him, and go to it. Go at it. And Anthony Richardson is a hard worker. He will do all the things he needs to do. When you just can't coach or teach the kind of talent he has, Paul. They coach him properly, put him in a system that allows him to do what he does best. You can have a really good quarterback in the NFL.
Next, of course, Will Levis of Kentucky by way of Penn State. What do you see in his ability that has so many people interested?
Somebody said to me today, we did a Q&A, the Ask Todd, Ask Mel segment, and it was saying, why are you hyping him so much? They asked me. And I said, I'm not really hyping, I'm defending, okay? Because he's getting hated on by everybody. Even the people that say they kind of like him are hating on him. So Will Levis is the one that could be the dropper of the quarterbacks. He could be like Josh Allen and Justin Fields, where drop down, somebody trades up to get him if he doesn't go to Indy at 4. So people were looking at this past year, and I say throw it out. It doesn't mean anything to me. As you know, Paul, you know better than anybody. He was beat up all year. He didn't have the O-line. He didn't have Wan'Dale Robinson. He had a new coordinator, and he was, like I say, injured. He couldn't move. He had 9 rushing touchdowns in 2021 when he could move. He had 0 the last 8 games this year when he couldn't move. So again, if you want to scrutinize this year, I agree the turnovers, the Ole Miss ending was bothersome. But hey, Josh Allen fixed the turnover issue. Daniel Jones has fixed the turnover issue. These ultra competitive quarterbacks, which is what those two are and what Will Levis is, will turn it over. And I said today too, Paul, Kentucky's not the 20-point favorite in every game. They're not the chalk in every game. They're an underdog or they're a slight favorite. He was 17-7 as a starting quarterback, and you could tell that. And Mark Stoops said it, when he wasn't our quarterback, you saw what happened.
Talking to Mel Kiper Jr., Hendon Hooker dropped by the other day. Everyone loves him in terms of a personality. Mm-hmm. He seems to be doing well with the injury. What do you see for him?
The charisma and the 25 years of age, the professionalism, you got to love all that. The system's going to take him some time. It's not an NFL system. It's a great college system with Josh Heupel. The receivers, as you know, were outstanding. The O-line, the running game, everything around him was perfect. Now, he took it to another level. He was phenomenal. But, he's that flat-footed passer, gets the ball out quick, didn't have to go through the 4th, 5th options, didn't have to roll left, roll right, and he's coming off an ACL. I think the perfect team would be Seattle. I projected them getting into the back end of the first round, get that 5th-year option, have a year to at least sit him and let him adjust coming off the ACL, coming out of that college offense into the NFL, adjusting to pressure in the NFL and adversity, which we'll have to deal with in the pocket. All those things lead me to believe he needs to go to a team like Seattle or Tennessee, somebody like that, Paul.
Let me ask you about a name that nobody's talking about. He was one of the best players in college football last year. Everybody knows his resume. What is the deal with Stetson Bennett?
The deal is this. I think he's a day 3 pick. He's in that next tier. There's a second tier of quarterbacks after the big 5, which will be Clayton Tune at Houston, Stetson Bennett, Georgia, Jake Haener, Fresno State, Max Duggan, TCU, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA, and Aiden O'Connell, Purdue. That's that next group. You even could throw Tanner McKee from Stanford in there and Jaron Hall, BYU. Those guys are all, I wouldn't say interchangeable, but they're all close. So Stetson Bennett, I said today, we're going to know Baltimore is going to be 3. Todd Monken coached them 2 years, 2 national titles. They would like the draft. They said they're going to draft a quarterback. If they don't say get Hendon Hooker in the first round or Will Levis, Paul, we'll see if Baltimore looks at Stetson Bennett. But either way, if he doesn't go to Baltimore, I think he goes to somebody else in the 4th, 5th round area.
Mel, before you go, 2 defensive stars from Georgia and Alabama. I'm talking about Jalen Carter and Will Anderson. What's going on with both of them?
Yeah, I think Carter, Paul, goes in that 5th, 6th spot, either to Seattle or Detroit. Seattle could not stop the run. They were gashed last year against the run. They were 30th in the league, gave up 150 yards. Saw what Josh Jacobs did to them. I think Seattle needs a Jalen Carter. Detroit certainly could use him. I think Will Anderson goes either to Seattle or Detroit. If he goes to Arizona, if they keep the pick, but if they don't, and that becomes a quarterback, I think it ends up Seattle or Detroit. I'm looking at Detroit. Put Will Anderson Jr. opposite Aiden Hutchinson, Dan Campbell in Detroit. I think are looking at high character guys. Will Anderson Jr., as you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like 20 in terms of character. So I think when you look at those two, they're going to go off the board within the first 6 picks.
So that was Mel Kiper on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday. I thought that was fascinating. I thought it was very interesting to hear, and it's obvious that everybody has now pivoted back to Bryce Young to being the number one pick overall by the Carolina Panthers, which, for you, Grizz, that's a problem because that's a rival of your beloved Atlanta Falcons. For me, I have history with the Carolina Panthers. When the Cleveland Browns went out of business and were moved in 1995, and after the 1995 season, and it looked like there was never going to be a Cleveland Browns again, and it was going to be the Baltimore Browns. When they were first introduced, they were introduced as the Baltimore Browns, and they had Baltimore Browns gear and stuff like that. That's what they were supposed to be when Art Modell moved the team, out of Cleveland, and so when that happened, that's what we thought, was going on there. Now, we needed a team. I had a young son. We had no team. So we needed to have some sort of a team. So what we did was we decided to adopt the newly formed Carolina Panthers because they had cool gear. They had uniforms that were the same as my high school, the black and Carolina blue uniforms. So I felt like, I need to get them. And that's what I did. I grabbed the Carolina Panthers, and they became my team, if you will.
Well, that's disgusting. And, I hope whoever they get at quarterback is awful. I hope that whoever they get at quarterback is awful. I like Frank Wright. I do like Frank Wright. I think he kind of had a bad situation for the Colts, but I think he's gonna get a good one, and I think he'll be able to mold him.
Yeah. All right. Let me go to the lines. Ray Dog is up. I thought Ray Dog might, wait a little bit and try and get in on the big question of the day, which is coming up next in terms of, to win a group at the golf tournament. But Ray Dog is up. Ray Dog, what's going on, man?
Not much. I don't have the free scheduled slot for the golf, so I feel like it behooves me to allow someone who can take advantage of that opportunity to have that opportunity.
Well, that's very Christian of you.
Well, the rest of what I'm about to say is not. When you tweeted about the NBA MVP,
right? Well, let me set that up, Ray Dog. Let me set that up for the listeners. Is what happened. There was a compilation put together of national talking heads who were debating the MVP for this season. And all of these talking heads, these are names that Chris Broussard and some of these other folks that are, Bill
Stephen
Simmons
A.
and things like that, Stephen A. Smith. They were all discounting the Joker for MVP this year because he won it the last 2 years. They were saying that him winning it the last 2 years would preclude them from voting for him. They're going to vote for Joel Embiid instead or somebody like that, who may be very, very deserving. There's no doubt. But what I had tweeted is that this is the most asinine thing because Chris Broussard actually said Jokic would be Jokic would be the obvious choice for MVP if he hadn't won it the last 2 years. That's what they said. So I tweeted that this is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen, and that's where Ray Dog takes over. Okay, go ahead, Ray Dog.
So let's just read the list. Embiid, he did lead the lead in scoring. He's 9th in the league in rebounds. He's 8th in blocks, and his team finished 3rd in the East. Giannis, 5th in the league in scoring. There were 5 guys on his team who averaged double figures, tied for 3rd in rebounds. Our man in Denver won the West, 3rd in rebounds. Their knock on him is he was 24th in the league in scoring at 24.5 points per game. But you know what he did that the other two didn't?
Yeah, and the point of the tweet wasn't to debate who should be the MVP. It was the asinine comments that they wouldn't vote for him because he won the last 2. So what would that have meant for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who won 6 of these things? Or for Michael Jordan, who won 5 of these things? We say, oh, no, he's already won it enough times. What is this, a Little League? Like a participation trophy? That was the point of it. That's what we were trying to say, is that this is ridiculous that you're not going to vote for the guy because he won the last 2. What's that got to do with this year's MVP?
Well, I was going to circle to. It is, what's that middle letter stand for?
B, valuable. That'd be valuable. No.
I'll say the same thing about Jokic in the third. If he's the best, most valuable player 3 years in a row, he gets the trophy 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Only won 5 is still undeniable to me. How is that even possible?
Well, it's every third year. I mean, he only played 15 years. You know. He should have been the MVP when he went and played baseball. Should have been the MVP of the Bulls because they didn't do anything without him.
To the finals the first year, and then they went down the toilet.
Yeah.
In '95.
Yeah.
You know, when Scotty said, "I'm not getting the ball. Screw this. I'm going to sit down."
Yeah. All right, Ray Dog. It's a good point. Grizz, you see what he's saying? All right, see it. But the point of the tweet was not about whether or not Jokic should be the MVP or not. The point of it is that all of these people, if you watch that video after the show, if you watch that video, you've got all of these NBA voters, 5 official NBA voters, commenting on on why they would vote for Embiid. Now, you can vote for Embiid because you thought he had a better season.
Yeah.
But don't tell me you're voting for him because Jokic won it the last 2 years.
Well, they also, if you listen, and I watched it occasionally, First Take in the mornings, J.J. Redick and Kendrick Perkins got into it about how the selection at all was kind of racist in a way, where they weren't picking, like they felt like they weren't picking the right player, you know, and they were just picking, you know, Jokic to win it. And it was kind of
pick the white guy.
It was like pick the white guy, and then like JJ Redick started rattling off like all the winners and everything like that, and it's not like that. And I feel like it is a little petty sometimes. I think that's the reason why I don't like the NBA All-Star Game, because it's a popularity contest, and now it's just like I'm going to pick the 5 best players that are my buddies, and I'm going to put them on my team, and it's not based on what the fans like, what people really want to probably watch within the sport. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think that's the reason why a lot of times I don't understand that.
Yeah. All right, let's get our question out there. I have got another foursome to give away, courtesy of Advanced Life Clinic. They sponsored a group, and they want a group of listeners to play on their their foursome. They've already paid for it. It's all set, and it's all paid and done. All right, the tournament is coming up on Monday morning, 9 o'clock tee-off, 7 o'clock registration begins, Chick-fil-A for breakfast, Bubby's Diner for dinner, great prizes, just going to be a tremendous tournament for sure. It's at Cherokee Ridge, okay? So here's the question. First one that gets in and answers this question correctly, I'm going to give it a question, and then we'll get the answer when we come back. So I'm giving you full opportunity to cheat. Okay, you have full opportunity to cheat. Now, we just heard that segment with Mel Kiper Jr. talking about Bryce Young is going to be the first overall pick. And you hear a lot of times, well, this will be the first time that Alabama has had a number 1 pick as quarterback, because the highest pick quarterback in the past for Alabama would have been Tua Tagovailoa as the number 5 pick, although Joe Namath was a number 1 pick of the Cardinals. They took him in the first round, but it was the 12th pick overall by the Cardinals. The reality is this. Alabama had a guy drafted as a quarterback long before all of those guys. Who was the guy, who was the player that was selected number 1 overall out of Alabama as a quarterback? The only guy that's ever been selected number 1 overall as a quarterback. All right, you give me that answer at 256-576-4977. You can go ahead and cheat, look it up, do whatever you need to do, come back, we'll get a winner next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop in the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
T-minus 3, 2, 1,
Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back next Tuesday, April 18th for a 6-game homestand against the Biloxi Shuckers. Promotions include 2 bobblehead giveaways to open and close the week, the first day game of the season on Wednesday, and dance night on Thursday. Reserve your seats now at trashpandasbaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
Who knows comfort? Well, comfort is our middle name. If your home isn't as comfortable as you want it to be, we can fix that. We service all makes and brands of heating and cooling systems, even if we didn't install them. So give us a call at Environmental Comfort Systems or visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. championship quality, affordable prices.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. The segment brought to you by the Orthopedic Center. For all your injury needs, it's the Orthopedic Center. That's all you need to know. And you can get your referral to the Orthopedic Center. If your doctor says, you know what, you need to see an orthopedic, you tell them, okay, I want to see the docs at the Orthopedic Center. So you can do that right there with the Orthopedic Center. All right, this is a bit of a tricky question now. I'm going to admit to you this is a trick question. Again, let me reset it, okay? Bryce Young is projected to be the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. All right? Alabama has had somebody drafted as a quarterback with the number one pick in the NFL draft. Not the AFL draft, the NFL draft. Now, if we get wrong answers, I will add a clue to each person as we go down the list, to be quite honest with you. All right, up first is Charles. Charles, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, Charles, Alabama has had somebody drafted number one overall as a quarterback. Who do you think it is?
I think it's Harry Gilmer.
Bang! Oh, my God, it's a great... I can't believe you got that. That is a great job. Yeah.
Well,
so
I had to Google that one.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I encourage you to cheat, but I figured, a lot of places show him as a running back, being drafted number one overall as a running back. Now, here's the story. Harry Gilmer was a running back for Alabama, but he led the Tide in passing. All right, he led the Tide in passing because all their passing was done out of basically halfback passes. So Harry Gilmer was drafted by the Washington Redskins as a quarterback. He had thrown he had thrown 407 passes at Alabama. He was a halfback, but that's the way they played back then. He'd throw it to the halfback would throw it. He was 215 of 407. He threw for just under 3,000 yards, threw 26 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. He also ran for 1,759 yards. So he threw for more yards than he ran for, even though he was listed as a running back. So he was the number one pick in a 1948 draft. He spent his NFL career backing up Sammy Baugh and Bobby Lane, two guys that went on to become Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but he did make the Pro Bowl in 50 and 52 as a quarterback in 76 games over 8 seasons. He threw 579 passes in the NFL for 3,786 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 45 interceptions. And he ran the ball another 201 times. So he was the original running quarterback, I guess. So that is a great job by you getting that right. Now, my question is this. Charles, do you have an idea? Do you have a team together? Are you going to be able to put together a 4-man team?
I believe I will be able to, yes. I'm off work Monday, so this works out perfect.
Okay. All right. So, Grizz, do you have Charles's full name or not?
Yeah, I have it from the caller ID, but I'll get everything else.
All right. So, Charles, you need to get with Grizz, and Grizz, you need to give all of that to Merrill. And then we've got, so, Charles, we will see you Monday morning. Registration begins at 7 o'clock, Cherokee Ridge. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. I can't believe the first guy got... Grizz, you didn't tell him, did you?
No, not at all. He called as soon as we went to break, put him on. We had a few guys calling in right now still. So
yeah, guys are like, no, that ain't right. No, that's the facts. Facts are stubborn things. He led Alabama in passing, and he ended up being drafted as a quarterback and played quarterback in the NFL. Harry Gilmer. It sounds like a trick question. Joe Namath was selected first by the New York Jets in the AFL draft. He was the 12th pick overall in the first round by the St. Louis Cardinals in the NFL, and he passed on the Cardinals to play for the Jets. Joe Namath is the most important person in the history of the AFL, because not only did he sign that $400,000 contract and was that bonus baby that basically ended the draft wars between the AFL and the NFL, he then orchestrates the win in Super Bowl III, which legitimizes the AFL after they already had made decisions to go ahead and merge. It's the most important person in AFL history, no doubt about it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Reminder, over on Zone 2, you can check us out at 3 o'clock with UAH Charger Baseball. Otherwise, you've got Paul Feinbaum coming up next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.